Please keep eating while I'm doing my thank yous and just continue the way you're going. Welcome again to the Willam Faulkner Literary Awards program. We welcome our guests and the few winners that could make it. We do have several winners with us today. Willam Faulkner was born September 25th, yesterday, 1897, here in New Albany, and lived on the corner of Jefferson and Cleveland. This competition began in 1997 on the 100th anniversary of his birth. Last night, some of you celebrated Faulkner's birthday at another great event. For those of you that were there, I know you'll agree to that. We celebrated 20 years of the Willam Faulkner Literary Garden. And for those of you that may not know, that garden is based on Faulkner's writings. The plantings in there have signs that describe the plant, and then it tells the quote and the book that it came out of. It's quite unique, and it's 20 years old. We had the Gestalt gardener, Elder Rushing, and he was a wonderful speaker. And we also honored Shara Owen, who we hope will be here today. She probably is home with her feet up. But she was our driving force for that garden. And the garden is a collaboration between the museum and the New Albany Garden Club. A lot of work goes into it. Besides celebrating Faulkner, today we're celebrating excellence in the art of writing. On behalf of the Willam Faulkner Literary Committee, I'm proud to say we give awards for novel, adult short story, student short story, one-act plays, and poetry. And we also are pleased to have our New Albany Elementary School winners here today too. You'll get to see them a little bit later. To do this event, of course, it takes a whole year, and it takes a lot of people that supported us and trusted us, and I'd like to take a minute to thank those people. First of all, we've got to thank Eric Saul. He has supported us for, I believe it's 12 years now. Because of him in those early years, we were able to add the novel and the poetry. And he also convinced us to get the website, which I don't know how we ever did it without that. So we really appreciate your help, Eric. He loves New Albany. He's a New Albany boy who lives in Tennessee now, but he loves New Albany and likes the advertising that we get from this event. Also, Lynn West, I'm not sure where he's sitting, couldn't do this without Lynn West and the Gazette. They support us financially. They've printed all the programs, the winning certificates, the programs, the tickets, all the different things that you see. And they do all kind of press releases. We've had more advertisement for this event than you can look at. We thank the City of New Albany. We get a New Albany tourism grant that allows us to have the website. Our website is willamfaulknerliterarycompetition.com. All of our entries come in through that website. The rules are there, the past winners. There's a way to pay and to place your entry through that website. And because of that, we got entries from 37 states and 10 countries this year. Some of those countries were China, New Zealand, Ireland, Portugal, and Canada. Pretty good. Pretty good. And we also had two winners from Ripley and Etta. So you'll hear them in a minute. Those entries come into the museum, the Union County Heritage Museum, and Jill Smith and Elena Wilder have this fabulous system of getting those printed off, and we take all identifying information off of them, so the judges do not know who they are, where they're from. And we are able to get those entries to the judges within a few days of the deadlines. So thank you, Jill and Elena. We couldn't do it without that. And of course, we couldn't do this competition without judges. Over the years, we've just had some of the most fabulous judges, and they enjoy doing it. We'll send them 135 plays, and They just say, I love doing this. So we really appreciate their expertise and time. We know that means a lot to us. Several civic organizations make financial donations that go toward our $6,000 prize money. They are the New Albany Pilot Club, Friends of the Union County Library, New Century Book Club, and Junta Book Club. Thank you to the Mississippi Arts Commission again this year, who has provided a grant to cover expenses for our Willam Faulkner Literary Fest. We have a months long, what we call Faulkner Fest. We have speakers, music, exhibits, just all Faulkner related things. And that's provided through this MAC grant. The MAC is a state agency, and it serves the state by providing grants that support programs to enhance communities and celebrate Mississippi's cultural heritage. And a big thank you to Jill Smith, who writes the grants. She's an expert at writing the grant, I can tell you. And thank you to a lot of groups that helped just pull this together. I put my museum guild table right up front this year because we couldn't do a lot of things we do without the museum guild. They come in, little busy bees in the morning, and help set up the tables, and we really appreciate that. The table arrangements come from our 3 garden clubs. We have New Albany Garden Club, Dogwood Hills Garden Club, and Historic Northside Garden Club, and they just walk in and put these gorgeous things on the table. A few of these arrangements also, I know this one on the guild table is one, were done by New Albany Garden Club's middle school garden dogs. The mascot is a bulldog. And Tracy Venesi is their teacher, and she does all kind of things with the garden dogs. So we're real proud of those. We want to thank Tallahatchie Gourmet for our delicious meal again, and Angel Mueller, and I think Kelly Metlock is here. I don't know if she'll come out. She probably doesn't hear me. But we thank them for always making this such an easy thing for us, and they also donate the winners' meals. And thank you to Paul Tate. I told him I do thank him. He's always slipped out by the time I do this, but thank Paul Tate for the, and thank Bill Everett for the prayer. Faulkner talks a lot about the value of his little postage stamp of native soil. I can't say enough about this little postage stamp of native soil. How many towns this size could have 3 huge events in 3 days? We had the 20th anniversary of the garden last night. We have this event today, and we have Riverfest tomorrow with the Duck Regatta. So, and a lot of those are the same people. So we really have a lot of people that have a love for this town, and because of that, we're able to do some really wonderful things. As I said, we had the Gestalt gardener, Rushing, couldn't think of his name, Felder Rushing last night, and one of the comments he made to Jeff, the mayor, Jeff, he said, this town is rocking. And he's my age, but that's a compliment. And we are rocking. I totally agree. We've got it all together. We've even got his image, Walt Faulkner's image on our water tower. What more do I need to say? One last important thank you goes to Rotary. You'll see them in their blue shirts over here. Each year they provide a grant for us to have a part of our Faulkner Fest, a poetry workshop with our elementary children. I want to thank Linda Everett also. She always helps in organizing this event. They come to the museum and then they write poems and they're judged. And those winners are here today and their teacher, Victoria Brown. So I'm going to turn this over to Victoria Brown right now to introduce her winners and for y'all to get to hear their poems. The other teacher, by the way, is Elizabeth Vogel. She didn't come today, but 4th grade and 5th grade. Pull it down, but okay. Don't let them stand here because I want them to see.
Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Hey guys, I'm Victoria Brown, and I am taking Miss Nina Beth's place this year. She's retired and celebrating Faulkner's birthday from Franklin, Tennessee today, so she's missing all of you and says hello. But these are my 4th and 5th grade students, and they have spent a lot of time working on their poems and doing some artwork to decorate the tables with. We're going to start by just talking about our 4th grade students. I want to thank the Heritage Museum and everybody who works there, Miss Jill, the Rotary Club for sponsoring that literary workshop, and just anybody who was involved that day with us. It was such a fun morning. It was one of the better field trips I think I've ever taken in 13 years here at our museum in New Albany with people helping us learn how to write haiku poems. And so if you don't know anything about a haiku poem, which you probably do, you're at a literary luncheon, but a haiku is a Japanese style of poetry, and you start with 5 syllables in the first line, 7 syllables in the next line, and then you finish the poem with another 5 syllables. So what we did that day, Miss Everett taught them how to write a haiku and to use descriptive words using, I think it was a tomato. And so we talked about all kinds of descriptive words we could use to describe that tomato. And then they broke into groups at our Heritage Museum, and they went to different rooms and wrote a haiku about each room. So when they were in the animal room, they were writing about the animals. What did they see? What sounds might they have heard? When they went to the garden, they were using their senses there as well. And so we did get these poems judged. And before I let them read, I want to tell you a little bit about their art style that they used to. We studied Walter Anderson and looked at a lot of his pieces of artwork. And then we took our haikus and we tried to mimic his style of art to bring our haiku poems to life. So we're going to start with the 3rd place winner, Miss Mary Clayton Muncie. She's going to read her poem for you now. Okay, you may want to talk. There you go.
My poem is named The Butterfly. Sour scuppernong, bubbly fruity morning dew, pretty soft light green.
River. We have Miss River Farrell. She got 2nd place in 4th grade.
The wonderful garden, the vibrant green leaves, flowers smelling really good, birds chirping and dancing.
Okay, and then we have our 1st place winner, Miss Annie Covington.
Senses from the garden, pointy, pungent, bright, rushing water, calming wind, a weathered rough bench.
Okay, and I hope we'll leave their pictures up at the front, those Walter Anderson style watercolor paintings, if you want to come by and see those after. And then my 5th grade students, I'm just going to be honest, I didn't know they were going to be judged, but they worked really hard anyway, and I think they all turned out pretty good. I stole the idea from Miss Nina Beth. She always had them pick an author from Mississippi and then study them and do a biographical freestyle poem. And then also she would sprinkle in, just to make it a little more challenging, to use as much alliteration as possible. And so I did not choose a Mississippi author this year. I let them pick their favorite author. So we've got poems about anybody from C.S. Lewis and the Chronicles of Narnia to J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. So our 3rd place winner is Colson Dodd. So make sure that you're listening to them for that alliteration sound.
My title is called J.K. Rowling. Rowling was revealed in England, 1965. Rowling's real name is Joan Rowling. She reads a ridiculous amount of books really early in life. While riding a train from Manchester to London King's, Rowling resolved to write Harry Potter. Rowling received many rewarding awards. Right now, Rowling is writing futuristic books.
All right. Our 2nd place winner is Miss Caitlin Kennedy.
My title is Jeff Kinney.
Jeff joined the world by Washington, D.C. He jabbered like a jitterbug about his dream to draw cartoons. Joining his dream, he made an online game. Journaling, he wrote Diary of a Wimpy Kid. No one thought this was junk. On his journey, he jumped his way to the top, joining New York Times best-selling authors club, making everyone joyful who read.
And our first place winner, Mr. Max Stanton.
My author is C.S. Lewis. Lewis was born in Belfast, Ireland. Lewis's loving mother lost her life, and he lamented. Lewis left and went to school in Watford, Hertfordshire, England. Lewis loves being enrolled as a boarding student, meets Arthur Greaves, who becomes a lifelong friend. Lewis is in the British Army. Lewis's lovely friend Patty died in battle. Lewis leaves atheism and converts into Christianity.
Okay, guys, it's time to get your awards. That's what they're really excited about, I think. All right, if y'all will walk down here to Miss Lynn.
Lynn, would you like to do the We do give them a certificate, just like the novel winners and the short story winners, and they also get a little money. Let's see, for the fourth graders, Mary Clayton Muncie, third. Lynn will give y'all those. Second place, River Farrell. And they do get $20 for third, $30 for second, and $50 for first place. So they're making a little money today. First place is Annie Covey. Then in the fifth grade, third place is Colson Dodd. Second place, Caitlin Kennedy. And first place is Max Stanton. And thank you so much, Victoria. Y'all are just so energetic and fun. It was a fun day. And the poems on your table were all the entries, but these winning ones will be up here if you want to look at them at a later date. Nina Beth would be very, very proud. There's a Faulkner quote that I think fits right here. And sure enough, even waiting will end if you can just wait long enough. So let's not wait any longer for our competition awards. In the short story category, our winner could not be here today, but our winner is Kirsten Warner. She will receive $250 for her short story, Three Things. Kirsten is a student in Mississippi School for the Arts in Brookhaven. She grew up in Natchez and has been writing for 6 years, which means she probably was about 12 when she started. Her teacher is Dr. Nadia Alexis. In the adult short story, the judge deemed 3 stories worthy of honorable mention. We usually just say first, second, and third, but if the judges say, no, we need to have these, we respect that for them. None of these honorable mentions could be here today. Winning honorable mention for his short story, Two is Company, is Auguste Esquire from Quebec, Canada. Auguste is a high school English teacher in Ottawa. He specializes in humoristic, travel-related writing. Another honorable mention for her short story, What's for Dinner, is Aaliyah Zobel Nolan from Norwalk, Connecticut. She reads a lot and writes a lot on topics from the divine to the feline. Her ministry is to make people laugh, purr more, and hiss less. And I asked her for a bio, and it started out a whole page, and I said, you have to make that a little shorter. She's hysterical. Is what I just wanted you to know. She's really funny. And she has lots of cats, as you can tell. Also winning honorable mention for his short story, The Atonements, is Richard Leslie Brock from Indio, California. His story was inspired by a man back in the 1800s who walked 800 miles from California to Mexico to get food to his starving wife and child. And then he actually walked part of that in California. It's called the Pacific Crest Trail. That was the inspiration for his story. Our third place winner could not be here. Winning third place and $200 for her short story, Neither Comedy Nor Tragedy, is Elizabeth Weinstein from Tully, New York. Elizabeth has written fiction and nonfiction. She's the author of many short stories, an unpublished novel, and a book she wrote for teachers called Shakespeare with Children, 6 scripts for young players. She says her husband's favorite author is Willam Faulkner. Our second place and first place winners are here with us today. Our second place winner is with us today, winning second place and $300 for her short story, My Nephew, My Vacuous Nephew, is Anna Wang from San Marcos, California. Originally from China and now living in California, Anna is a bilingual author, and in her words, the only gray-haired student pursuing an MA in writing at Point Loma Nazarene University. But I told her last night, she came to the garden, I told her that her gray hair could not be natural. She's too young. Our first place winner is also here, winning first place and $600 for his short story, Quietly in the Dark, is George Kehoe from Oxford, Mississippi. And if that name sounds familiar, he and his wife have been winners in this competition before, more than once. George's writing history includes work as a newspaper reporter, magazine editor, playwright, short story writer, and English instructor at the University of Mississippi. He is retired from teaching, but still works hard at the craft of writing. Glad you're here. The judge sent a few words about your winning short story, George. In the judge's words, this is a flawlessly written story of a serious subject by serious characters who were working to solve both a global issue and a personal one. In the one-act play category, I regret that none of these could be with us today. There was an honorable mention here also. Winning honorable mention for her play, There's Always Tomorrow, is Sonia Hayden from New York, New York. Originally from Central Virginia, Sonia is a playwright and musical theater composer, lyricist, and librettist. And I had to look up that word. A librettist is one who writes the text of an opera or other long vocal work. Y'all may be smarter than I. She has won many impressive awards, and her work has been seen all across the country. Winning third place and $200 for his play, Drag Me Away, is Chuck Ryback from Hobart, Wisconsin. Chuck teaches literature and writing at the University of Wisconsin in Green Bay, where half of his classes are students who are incarcerated. Beth Ann, this is the winner that I told you knows your work, and he was really sorry he couldn't be here to hear you speak today. The judge said about this play that it was the epitome of comedy done right. I correspond with these winners over email back and forth, and to find out if they're coming and whatnot. And Charles had some things to say that I think y'all needed to hear. He said, "No writer means as much to me as Willam Faulkner. Reading his work was really one of those life-changing experiences for me. I still read his novel, Absalom, Absalom, aloud to myself every summer just to hear the language in the air." I wasn't even able to get through it once yet. He's always wanted to travel to Faulkner's home, see his study where he did his writing, and just be in the communities that so deeply influenced him. Winning second place and $300 for his play, Mimosa, is Jediah Craig from Berkeley, California. Jediah is an aspiring playwright who lives with his very patient wife and 3 children. He's a member of Playground San Francisco, which is a playwright incubator. The judge's comments for his play. The writer presents a cast of characters while only having one character on stage throughout. I fell in love with Mary, wanted to be like her, and found myself cheering for her as she champions through life's simultaneous ups and downs. Winning first place and $600 for his play, Out of the Woods, is Robert Wybazal from Westlake Village, California. And he couldn't be with us today, but his brother-in-law from Memphis is here with us, Robert Durden. And we'd like for Robert to come receive his certificate. After a lifetime writing fiction, Robert turned to playwriting about 10 years ago. Since then, his theatrical works have been performed live and virtually in 21 states and internationally, and they have been published in a number of anthologies. Although he's not from the South, he said he's from Southern California. We're glad you could be here. The judge's comments on this play. What makes Out of the Woods so wonderful is its simplicity. One setting, 3 characters, 2 virtues, hope and love, intertwined and confused in a way that brought me to tears. The play from beginning to end is nothing short of beautiful. From reading these, what all these people have done, you can tell the value of our judges. I mean, in every category, we've had people that have been published and presented their plays, and so we feel very good about our quality of our judges. In the poetry category, we have 3 honorable mentions who could not attend today. Winning honorable mention for her poem, Is My Mama Dead?, is Sue Weeks from Salt Lake City, Utah. Sue came from a hard-scrapple Mormon agricultural heritage. She is influenced by her heritage as the 5th generation to inherit her family farm as well as her education in the visual arts. Also winning honorable mention for his poem, Forbidden Fruit, is Howard Brown from Lookout Mountain, Tennessee. Y'all should be familiar with that name. He has won numerous times in our competition. Howard grew up in New Albany and attended law school at Ole Miss. He retired in 2009. He's the author of 2 collections of poetry, and his work has appeared in numerous print and online journals. Winning 3rd place and $200, these are the winners, those were the 2 honorable mentions. Winning 3rd place and $200 for her poem, These Hands, is Jacqueline Sincar from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. She could not join us today either. With a background in anthology and cognitive psychology, Jacqueline often leans into science as a place to process, recharge, and create. She is now investigating her environment with a camera and a pen. And with us today are our next 2 winners. Winning 2nd place and $300 for his poem, The Garden, is John Myers from Ripley, Mississippi. Canada, Ripley. Isn't that great? John Ross Myers grew up in Faulkner, Mississippi, and fell in love with the writing of Faulkner at 13. He's been telling stories ever since. He's the executive editor of the Mississippi News Group and lives in North Mississippi with his wife, daughter, and a collection of animals. If you were listening closely, I said there were 3 honorable mentions and I only named 2. There's a reason for that. Our next winner won honorable mention for his poem, My Wife, and he also won 1st place and $600 for his poem, The Empty Chair. And that is Joseph Kent from Etta, Mississippi. Joseph was born in New Albany, Mississippi. I forget other people are not from Mississippi. He has served for the last 20 years as a firefighter with the Tupelo Fire Department. His wife is Bridget. She's here with him today, and they have two boys, Andrew and Josh. The judge wrote a 2-page analysis of his poem that I gave to him earlier, but here are a few of her comments. This poem, Empty Chair, was chosen because the title draws the reader into a universal human experience, death. Thoughtfully chosen literary elements and methodically sprinkled through with rhythmic cadence. The choice to use a tercet as the denouncement when all previous stanzas are quatrains reinforces the theme of absence. Well done. Now for the novel category, we have one novel winner, but we did have an honorable mention this year, and neither one of these could be here today, sadly. But the honorable mention is for his novel, Eva's Secret, and it's Michael Fried from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Michael's short fiction has been published in numerous magazines. His first published full-length work, My Mother's War, was runner-up in the 2023 Maxie Award for Creative Nonfiction. The judge's comment on this novel opens with a stunning comment. I had to wait for Mom to die to find out who she was. Cleaning out the house, the narrator discovers the first secret, a drawer full of flamboyant underwear. Next, the unknowing child unearths a cache of notebooks written in Hebrew and obviously written by the mother. The narrator learns that the notebooks are diaries, which the mother began keeping at 10. Reading the newly translated diaries, the child, now an adult, comes to know the mother with a previously unknown past. And then our novel winner is receiving $2,000 for his novel, Throwing a Butterfly into Your Neighbor's Mailbox, the Pilar Medina story. And that winner is Ben Orlando from Arlington, Virginia. I think that's a sports statement, if I'm not mistaken, throwing a butterfly in your neighbor's mailbox. I tried to look it up and I wasn't sure what all that meant. Ben is a psychotherapist and a host of the podcast Midnight Library of Baseball, where he explores the intersection of baseball and emotion. His other novel, The Knuckleballer, continues this mission of using story and sport to deepen emotional awareness. And the judge's comments. Beginning his narrative, Nick Capistrano admits that he is not quite a man. From that perspective, he witnesses a disturbing controversy at a high school baseball game. Shortly after, Nick, largely due to an injury, gives up baseball, including a possible major league career. His memory of the game and his leaving baseball haunts Nick. Subsequently, he rambles aimlessly from one career to another, eventually causing him to confront the past and family history. This past week, Jill at the museum received this book. This was our 2023 winner, and his book is now published, and it says Willam Faulkner Literary Award winner at the top. I did a little quick research, and just since I've been working with this competition, which I think has been since 2012, this is the 8th novel winner that we've had that has been published. So that tells you about our novel judge. So we're real proud of that. Congratulations to all the winners, and we will have our speaker, but plan to stay afterwards if you're a winner and you're here for us to take pictures. We do have the newspaper here that will take pictures. Our speaker today is Beth Ann Finley. She was the Poet Laureate of Mississippi from 2016 to 2021. She teaches in the MFA program at the University of Mississippi, where she's a 4-time teaching award winner. She's the author of 6 books. Her work has won a Pushcart Award and 3 times has been included in the Best American Poetry Series. A novel she co-authored with her husband, author Tom Franklin, called The Tilted World, was published by HarperCollins. She and Tom live in Oxford with their 3 children. Her 7th book, The Irish Goodbye, Micro Memoirs, is forthcoming in 2026. So thank you, Beth Ann. And she will have books out front when this is over.
Hello, New Albany. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me to be part of this celebration. I love any opportunity to celebrate Mississippi literature and the fact that our state has been out-punching its weight from the get-go. My favorite class to teach at the University of Mississippi is Mississippi literature because I like to get a classroom full of students, a lot of whom are Mississippians and a lot of whom have been told the bad parts about Mississippi their whole life. And I can see some of those facts are true. I mean, highest teenage pregnancy rate, highest infant mortality rate, second highest incarceration rate, thank you, Texas. Those facts are true, but also highest number of Pulitzer Prize winning authors. So I think that we need to celebrate the thing that we do so well here, and this is a beautiful occasion to do it. Thank you for including me. Thanks for everyone who did such amazing work. Because I knew we'd be eating together today, I thought I would read to you a poem about eating and feeding. I wrote this because my middle son is now a sophomore at the University of Mississippi, and a year and a half ago, it occurred to me he was going off to college, and I really love feeding my boys. They're big eaters. They love food a lot, and they're joyous eaters. They're full of compliments, and family dinner is so fun in my house. But I knew, okay, he's going off, and it occurred to me, well, he'll be just eating cafeteria food now. That's his new role. And then I thought, and then maybe he'll have a girlfriend or a wife, and then she'll be feeding him. And all the such should fill me with happiness, but instead they filled me with a bitter jealousy. So I decided to have fun with it and just play with the idea. Epistle to my Lord concerning my son's future spouses. Because I will not be around forever, Lord, I find myself considering those who will feed my sons after I'm gone. Lord, for my sons are joyous eaters, joyous and prodigious, but care not for the ways of the kitchen, despite my attempts at instruction. Forgive them, Lord, they know not how to cook. Still, they're accustomed to eating well, so I think, Lord, humbly, Lord, you might bear that fact in mind when choosing their spouses. Even when my sons were young, Lord, I educated their palates. Even when they were toddlers, I gave them ingots of Parmigiano Reggiano from Parma, Lord, the real deal, its name tattooed on the rind. Yea, I have let them gnaw, Lord, its salty, nutty sweetness calving on their tongues. I have taught them to savor that grainy crunch of tyrosine crystals, which the ignorant fear is mold, but is really the glory and gift of the aging process, praise be. And I've studied many a child's paw on the planchette of Parmesan, careful to clear their fingers from the microplane's teeth, to shower a host of angels into the fettuccine's steamy embrace. Yea, my sons have feasted, Lord, and your name has been exalted on their tongues. Lord, smite my enemies, who even now are indulging wicked thoughts about my extravagance and swinging the word privilege around like a rolling pin looking to connect with a skull. For verily I shop in thrift stores, drink tap water, and at this very minute am sporting socks with holes. And furthermore, please remind those haters that when you were chilling at Simon the leper's crib and allowed that woman to anoint your head with perfumed oil, Lord, prompting your disciples to meanly observe that such pricey oil instead might be sold to the poor, you defended her, saying she prepared you for your burial. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. And thus, Lord, when my sons have me not always, grant them spouses, but not the kind who buy green shakers of powdered, shelf-stable cheese food products containing plant cellulose, aka wood pulp, that Kraft dares to call Parmesan. That shit is nasty, Lord. Can I get an amen? If I may press my case, Lord, and surely I don't deserve any more than you've already given me, but your ways are unfathomable, Lord, and you've proven yourself generous beyond reason. So perhaps you will see fit to select for my sons spouses who not only buy real cheese, but transmogrify it through holy fire. Yea, give them talented home chefs who come to the marriage bed bearing cookbooks that fall open to recipes freckled with grease. Such chefs, I submit, would be ideal, but if I may, perhaps do not send them chefs especially skilled in the art of beef bourguignon. Lord, beef bourguignon being my signature dish, Lord. Beef bourguignon being my son's favorite to such an extent that my 11-year-old once asked if he'd be allowed to come home from college when I serve it. Consider that, Lord, I pray. Consider my youngest growing anxious at the prospect of missing my beef bourguignon 7 years hence, and you'll understand that his future spouse best not attempt it, Lord, because mine is just that good. In truth, Lord, there exist a few recipes I make so well and so often that my son's spouses might avoid them altogether, simply because their attempts can't live up to mine, Lord, which is no fault of their own. I simply got there first and shaped my son's taste buds in my image. I admit I've ruined for my son certain meals prepared at the hands of others, ruined them with my willful, profligate excellence. I'm thinking here of those meals my sons eat until their cheeks blush, eat until their foreheads shine, eat until their breathing grows labored, eat until they unbutton their pants, which is disgusting, Lord, and flattering, Lord, in equal measure. Disgusting and flattering the way, clearing the table, they turn their backs and hunch to lick their plates. Maybe 10 dishes, Lord, I've brought to that pinnacle where plate licking, though lowly, is justified. 10 dishes, or maybe 12, Lord, that we might proactively retire to prevent the spouses of my sons from bitterness. For verily you warn against the gall of bitterness. Lord, when these spouses confide to their friends, I don't even try to make lasagna because his mom's was just that good. Keep them, Lord, and bless them. Bless them in their humility and reward them with many offspring. These 15 dishes, 20 tops, I will enumerate, Lord, in a subsequent epistle, your faithful servant.
Thanks, that was fun for me. So I'm really happy to be in Albany. This is a city that I like, and I've actually written about twice for 2 different publications. I wrote about cycling the Tanglefoot Trail for Mississippi Magazine, and I wrote about the Indian Mountains in this region, and I met Jill Smith when I went to the museum, and I got an amazing tour. So it's really fun for me to be back, and I did want to read a little bit about something that has Faulkner in it. But first I want to tell you, this is such a fun day for me because from here, I swing back through Oxford and pick up my husband, and then we go to New Orleans because the The Pirates Alley Faulkner Literary Society is there in New Orleans. So as some of you probably know, Faulkner lived in Pirates Alley when he wrote his first novel, Soldier's Bay. And they also have a party for Faulkner's birthday party. They also do awards. And I'm going because I won the essay prize. I'm so excited! And I have medal with Faulkner's face, and I'm never going to take it off. Next time you see me, wherever it is, say that Amber in the middle. I'm not going to be wearing it. A gold medal with Faulkner's face. Are you kidding me? Okay, so this piece I wrote because I'm not originally from Mississippi. I moved here a long time ago, but I'm actually originally from the suburb of Chicago. And when I moved here with my husband, we were newlyweds. He was offered the John Grisham Writer in Residency at the University of Mississippi, and we just fell in love and we never went back. But when I moved here, I started to think, it's so strange that Mississippi feels like home. It shouldn't feel like home. And I started to think, what does it mean to claim a place as your home? And there was something that helped me think through this as a metaphor, and the metaphor is kudzu. So I don't know if you know this, but kudzu is not native to the South. Did you guys know this? Some of you know this. Yes, it was actually brought from Japan to Philadelphia for the World Expo in 1876. And the Japanese gardeners trained the kudzu to grow over the glass pavilion. And it just blew everyone's mind. No one had ever seen anything grow so fast. So they decided it would probably curb erosion and brought it to the South. And it actually grows better here than in Japan. Because when they brought the kudzu, they didn't bring the bugs and things that eat it. So I was thinking it's interesting to be a transplant and grow better in your new home, which actually is what Mississippi feels like to me. So this is a long piece, but I'm just going to read you a couple sections of it. The piece is from my book Unmentionables, and this is called the Kudzu Chronicles. 1. Kudzu sallies into the gully like a man pulling up a chair at a table where a woman had been happily dining alone. Kudzu sees a field of cotton, wants to be its better half. Pities the red clay, leaps across the color wheel to tourniquet. Sees every glass half full, pours itself in, then over the brim. Sprinkles in every margin with its green highlighter. Is begging to be measured. Is pleased to make acquaintance with your garden, which it is pleased to call place where I am not. Yet breathes its own welcome at. 4. I asked a neighbor early on if there was a way to get rid of it. Well, he said over the kudzu fence before chuckling and turning back into his house. I suppose if you sprayed it with whiskey, maybe the Baptist would eat it. 8. Nothing can go wrong on a day like this. At the county fair with my friends and their kids, and we're all kids whenever there's a 500-pound pumpkin resembling Jay Leno. Kudzu tea, kudzu blossom jelly, kudzu margaritas, 4-H club goats and their kid that peed like a toad when I lifted it. We're all kids drinking lemonade, spiked with vodka, strolling between the rackety wooden cabins, waving our fans, then kneeling around the bandstand where every third kid in the talent show sings God Bless America. And later, where the high school reunion band makes everyone boogie from shared nostalgia and bourbon. And where, why not, I'm dancing in front of the speakers and let the bassist pull me on stage. Where, why not, I dance for my bedroom mirror. Behold, I am a rock star. I cross my wrists over my shirt front, grab a fist of hem in each hand, and act like I would shove it over my head just to watch my fans go wild. I love Mississippi. Later, I tell my friends T and A about it, and they say, the Sugar County Fairgrounds. Wasn't that where the bodies of the civil rights activists were dumped? Like the kudzu, I stroll away, whistling, hands behind my back, like on a day when nothing can go wrong. 11. Am I not a Southern writer now? Have I not walked the giant plot that kudzu wants but is denied? Have I not paused to read the brass historical marker? Have I not marked the 20 paces eastward with solemn feet, enjoying my solemnity? Have I not trod lightly on those who lie sleeping? Have I not climbed the 3 steps to the Faulkner plot, raised as a throne is raised? Have I not seen his stone, the U he added to sound British, affecting a limp when he returned from a war where he saw no action, count, no count, offered to send an autographed book to pay his bill at Nelson's department store because it will be worth a damn sight more than my autograph on a check. Have I not also been ridiculous? Have I not also played at riches? Have I not assumed the earth owed me more than it gave? Especially now that he lies beneath it, under this sod blanket, this comforter, in the cedar bemused cemetery of his own describing. Have I not stooped beside his gravestone and sunk my best pen into the red dirt, leaving it there to bloom with the others besides the pennies, scraps of lyrics, corn cob, and bourbon bottles, because we often dress our supplications so they appear as gifts? Have I not suspected Faulkner would scoff at this, at all of this? But have I not felt encradled? 2 more sections. 12. Common names include mile a minute vine, foot a night vine, cuss you vine, drop it and run vine, covering 7 million acres and counting. Like the noble peanut, a legume, but unlike the noble peanut, forced into guerrilla warfare, 1945, the U.S. government stops subsidizing kudzu clubs. 1958, the government stops advocating the farming of kudzu. 1960, research shifts from propagation to eradication. 1972, Congress declares a weed. 1980, research proves certain herbicides actually cause kudzu to grow faster. 1997, Congress declares a noxious weed. Oh, you can hoe it out of your garden. But listen, isn't that your phone? Take heed, blithe surgeon, resting your hoe in the snake-headed leaves, then walking inside. The leaves disengage their jawbones, cough once to choke the hoe halfway down, cough twice, and it was never there. Last section, 13. When I die here, for I sense this, I'll die in Mississippi, state with the sing-songiest name I remember at 5, learning to spell. When I die here, my singular gravestone will stand alone among the Faulkners and the Isons and the Nelsons, these headstones which fin down hills like schools of fish. I'll be a letter of a foreign font, what the typesetter used to call a bastard. And even when my husband and daughter are dragged down beside me, their shared last name won't seem to claim my own, not to any horseman passing by. Listen, kin and stranger, when I go to the field and lie down, let my stone be a native stone. Let the deer come at dusk from the woods behind the church, and let them nibble acorns off my grave. Then let the kudzu blanket me, for I always loved the heat. Let its hands rub out my name. for I always loved affection. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to end with two very short pieces. They're just one paragraph, and they're from my forthcoming book that comes out in February called The Irish Goodbye. And in fact, you have a pretty little card on your table that my publisher sent me. I'm supposed to be asking you guys to pre-order this book, but really I'm just showing off how pretty the cover is. So you can take that with you if you want. This is a book of micro memoirs, and so in this book I steal from what I love of the various genres, because what I love from poetry is that extreme compression and abbreviation, and what I love from fiction is creating an arc of character, and what I love from nonfiction is truth-telling. So these are very small true stories about my life. I wanted to read this first one to you because yes, I know it's where I was Riverbest here, but it's also a big day in Oxford. My husband and I sometimes rent our house out for football games when we don't want to be around, when the crowds come in. And we've rented our house out 1 or 2 weekends a year on Airbnb for 20 years. And we only had a problem once. So just out of curiosity, what school do you think it was where the fans came and trashed our house? What do you think? LSU. The Discovery. The only time she and her husband have ever had an issue with renting their house for a football weekend was when LSU came to play Ole Miss. She'd been warned in advance about renting to LSU fans, but the money was too good and she didn't listen. In the chilled, uneasy post-checkout silence of Sunday, when she and her husband pulled into the driveway after their weekend trip, they discovered their house in disarray. Nothing too serious, ultimately. Furniture shoved around, wet towels everywhere, some missing foods, a favorite salt shaker broken. But nothing that made her house feel any less hers. Until, that is, straightening the couch when, between two cushions, her fingers closed on some bumpy nugget, and she withdrew a molar. Events had transpired in her house that she had not authored and could not comprehensively add to a plot line. Later, still dumbfounded, she'd tell her friend Mark about it. We found a molar between our couch cushions, a human molar. That's a micro memoir right there, he said, laughing. She recognized this as truth, but now it was too late. She'd lost agency over the narrative. Mark had discovered the micro memoir. All she'd discovered was the molar. And this is my last piece, and before, I'm happy to chat with anybody outside, though, if you want to sign a copy of the book or you just want to hug or selfie, come say hey. But before I read this and we all, move into the afternoon, I just want to thank you again for your kind attention, the beautiful flower arrangements, all the people who worked so hard to put this together. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you to Lynn also for heavy lifting there for sure. Married love, playing the long game. Even now, 3 years later, when she opens the drawer beside the stove for an oven mitt, she finds the oven mitts folded. This is because 3 years earlier, during an intense game of categories, when a category was things you fold, and the letter was O, her husband had written oven mitts. Nobody folds oven mitts, she scolded and refused him his point, forcing him, ever since, to prove it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Beth Ann. That was some fun poetry, wasn't it? If the winners will come forward and let's have some pictures, and thank you to everybody for the event. And we're open for 2026.